Well, greetings, Earthlings. You know, we were trying to avoid the hospital this year, but I went to bed last night. I was probably in bed by 9 o'clock, pretty hammered from that chainsaw work, and got a phone call at 11:50. And it was Victor, and he's out in his little apartment unit out in the shop, and he said, I need to go to the hospital. So I took him to the emergency room, and we were there from about, I don't know, about midnight until 3 o'clock this morning. And he had another asthma attack. So here we go again. Some of you know, last year I went in just a week before we were scheduled to start the biggest job we've done in a while. I went into the hospital, had emergency open heart surgery, and I'd been out about 2 days, I think, when Victor went in with an acute asthma attack. And then he got out and was working on the job, got it up and running, and I wanted to go down and see the job. Well, before that happened, my gal that's worked for me, Carrie, woman has worked for me for 13 years, although she's not coming back this year. She got another job, but she was coming over from Idaho to take care of me because I had that surgery, and she got not quite all the way up to my house, and transmission went out in her truck. So then I wanted to go down and see the job where Victor was, and I'd bought a little old Toyota pickup, a little beater, to just run around and try to save miles on my Dodge. And so we got just south of Wenatchee, barely out of town, and blew the motor up in that thing. I couldn't drive yet. She was driving. So there went my truck. And then we got done with that big job, and Frank, my buddy from Snohomish, had been over here with his camper, and he'd been staying at my place and helping Victor with chainsaw work. You know, he knows how to maintain saws and everything. So he was doing the chainsaw work. We got done with that big job, and I cut him loose so he could go back to doing what he needs to do at home. And he called me a couple days later and said, well, the grafting season from hell has claimed its next victim. He said, I'm going in tomorrow to get a stent put in. So, boy, we had a hard time last year. But it made us tougher, I guess. Anyway, we were comparing everything this year. We're going to say, no matter what happens, it's okay. It's not like last year. Well, I don't know. Knock on wood. But anyway, they sent Victor home with his oxygen levels are really low, and they sent him home with an inhaler and some prescription for prednisone, and you know, hopefully he'll be okay. But I think he's just allergic to grafting. Neither one of us want to admit that we're getting too old for this hard manual labor. And this grafting thing is hard, boy. It's physical. It is so physical. And, you know, aside from the saw work, that's probably the easy part. But cutting those grafts, pulling that steel through wood 5,000 times a day, and boy, your shoulders ache at night, and you hurt, and your hands swell up. Get up in the middle of the night and run cold water on your hands to get the swelling down. Try to get the pain out of them a little bit. And you know, it's hard work. But you know, if it was easy, little girls would be doing it. So this is not for little girls. This is for grown men. And so Victor's on his way to work. You know, we're running on very little sleep. But we're on our way. It's a 2-hour drive to the job. It's way on out past Royal City, out past the Potholes Reservoir. So it's a lot of windshield time every day in addition to the work. And I got a lot of running around to do today after work. So, yeah, it's kind of a tough night, but we'll be okay. It was a tough night, but we're tough Mexicans, so we'll make it. All right, catch up with you later. I just wanted to revisit our conversation we had yesterday just a little bit. I told Victor that you'd called and asked how low to stump those trees, and he said stump, and I said, yeah, it sounds really bad when you say it like that, don't it? So that's a term we never use. We talk about cutting them back hard, you know, but typically what we do is cut them back about an inch from the crotch or so, but then cut the leaders off, and that leaves a lot of surface to throw suckers. But with yours being central leader trees, we don't have that option. And I started thinking about what we did with Mel Waitman out there, and he cut his off, you know, I mean, he stumped them in a sense, but high enough that there was some low limbs. He had some low limbs that would act as nurse limbs to keep drawing sap and keep that tree alive. And then they threw suckers really well. And I kept thinking about that all day, and I got back to Wenatchee and I drove out there just to look at those trees, and the gate was locked and I couldn't get in. So I'm just wondering if they are crotched, or if they have some limbs low enough that if you cut them and leave a couple of limbs on the bottom, if it would be crotched too high when we go to graft them. What do you think about that? Or do you want to look at them with me?
I think we should swing by and look, because when Roger planted that block, he was ahead of his time when he did that.
Yeah.
And what's happened over the years since he didn't have a dwarfing rootstock is there's areas in the orchard where there's no limbs from the head down, because it's all been shaded out because it got too thick with that vigorous tree.
Right.
Right. So there would be a bunch where when we cut them at about that knee high, there's no limbs.
Well, we certainly wouldn't want to cut them knee high, but we might be able to cut them up high enough. I mean, we were talking yesterday about maybe a little below waist or something like that. Yeah, but I just like to look at them with you, and you know, I just want to feel real good about what we're doing there. We typically, when you stump a tree, just cut it off a foot from the ground or anything like that, it thinks it's supposed to die. and what we want to do,
I was thinking more basically between my knee and my belt, right about my mid thigh is where I was hoping that it would all work.
Yeah, we just want to have the tree think that it's just been pruned real hard, and then it'll grow vigorously, you know. It'll take off, especially with that being a vigorous rootstock. I don't think there'll be an issue. I think it'll throw suckers just fine, but I just like to look at them with you, just to feel good about it.
It's always good to measure twice and cut once. That's not a problem with that.
You bet.
The other thing I wanted to throw in your head, as I was thinking too, is I have had some luck on apples. When I cut them, I will make a severe slant cut rather than a flat cut, and it seems to push out of that point really hard.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that, or think that's something we should do?
I have not. I mean, that sounds good for growing suckers. That would be fine. Typically for grafting, we want a real level cut in order to wrap the tape around that.
Ken, I'm losing you.
Okay, I'm having a bad signal here. Can you hear me at all?
I got you there.
Well,
don't move.
Yeah, no, I haven't moved, but I'm in Royal City, or way out east of Royal City, and the signal's sketchy out here. So
gotcha.
I was just saying, when you cut an angle for grafting, that doesn't work, because then when you wrap the tape around, it just slips off of that low side, and you can't hold the tape. But for growing suckers, that would work real well. I mean, there'd be no problem with that for growing suckers. So, When's a good time for you to look at those?
I'm flexible. I don't think I can do it Monday.
Okay.
But how about I'll text you the days that I can't do it, and then you just pick whatever days you can.
Okay, you know, I don't get back into town until I usually try to get back into town from down here about 4 o'clock or so. And so,
Okay.
you know,
I have no problem reversing my day and meeting you late. That's not a problem. Yeah.
Tomorrow we're going to be in pretty good shape down here, and I might be able to get out of here a little bit earlier tomorrow. Would late tomorrow afternoon, would that work at all for you?
Yeah, I think, well, hold on. Tomorrow is Thursday?
Yep. Or Friday. I could do it Friday.
Well, let's see. Thursday, Thursday afternoon, I got to run my kids all around for
Gotcha.
piano.
Gotcha. Okay.
Late Friday afternoon, I got a birthday party for a kid, so I guess I'm more tied up than I thought.
Yeah, and I'm just kind of short-handed, and I have to be in the field. I'm doing all the chainsaw work, and it's all I can do to keep wood cut and trees cut down for Victor. So
no, you keep doing that.
Yeah.
So let's plan on sometime next week then.
Yeah, we got plenty of time to get them cut down, so that's not a problem.
Yeah,
we've got a wide window on that. Yeah, just let me know what day. I'm going to be in Yakima next week, but I will be able to get away. You know, the latter part of the week, I'd be able to break away. So
sounds good. Yeah. I will completely work around your schedule.
Okay, Josh. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for the call, Ken.
You bet. Just want to do the right thing.
Okay.
All right. Bye. Well, it's dark when I leave for work, and it's dark when I get home. We've had a pretty long day today. Well, every day's a long day. You know, my plan was going into this thing, I thought, well, this season, I better just work half days, you know, kind of ease into this thing after healing up from my heart surgery and all that. And, well, that went out the window the first day. I have put in less than 11 hours a day since we started. So, you know, it's just the way it worked out. Always short-handed. I can't leave Victor out there when he needs trees cut down and stuff, and I don't want him to have to stop grafting and cut down trees because, you know, when he's not grafting, we're not making money. But anyway, I cut Victor 5,000 sticks today, and plus I chainsawed down 1,000 trees, just 2 cuts each, so that means I lifted that chainsaw about chest high and held it there and made those 2 cuts 2,000 times today. So I'm probably not going to go to the gym tonight. I think I'll skip that. But anyway, long day. And of course that's all running on about 3.5 hours sleep because I having Victor in the hospital last night and all that. But anyway, he's doing better today, so we just don't know any other way. You know, we just work hard at it. That's the only way we know how to do it. I wouldn't know how to go out there and be a slacker, not after all these years. So I'm gonna herd this thing onto the house and kick my boots off and see if I can get horizontal for a while. Y'all have a good one. See ya.